friends, welcome to my new vlog. Well, I hope you're really enjoying December. In my introduction there, I put a little bit of footage of my recent trip to Frinton. If you are a fan of my channel, you may remember I visited Frinton with my Auntie Anne when she was here a few weeks ago. And so today I went back because when I was there with Auntie Anne, we each chose a print and we sent off to have them framed, and then I got the call to say to go and collect them, so that's why I was going there today. And I'm happy to show you our prints. I don't think my auntie will mind. This is the one I wanted. It's hard to see, but it's a little mouse with some flowers. Actually, let me turn the camera around. It's rather hard to see here with the light. When I put it up on the wall, hopefully later in this vlog, I will show you how it looks, but it's basically just this little mouse in some flowers, just having an idyllic mouse life. And I think that I want to put it in front of my desk so that if I ever feel kind of a bit wintry, too wintry, I can think of a beautiful summer's day and look at this mouse. So that was my print. This was the print my auntie liked. It's a beautiful tulip in sort of with a blaze of sunshine around it. To me, it's a little bit Mexican looking, and she chose this really pretty frame, slightly sort of distressed looking wood, but it's just a real burst of colour. So I think she's coming back next year in about February, so she'll be able to get her print, and I will keep it safe until then. Now, in my last video, I was talking about how I was actually feeling kind of grumpy in response to the festive season and a bit fed up because, oh, by the way, if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Kate. I am an actress. I often appear in horror movies, and I'm trying to get this YouTube channel going. I moved to this house about 11 months ago. It's the house in Essex. So I'm still in a bit of a pickle, and part of my vlogs are kind of about trying to get myself organised, and I found the Christmas season has made me rather irritable because I couldn't be as organised as I usually like to be when I'm preparing for Christmas, because I'm really a very Christmassy person. So welcome if you are new. I would say last vlog I was getting very grumpy because it was so difficult to put up my tree, and you know, it was hard to find things. I would say that putting up the tree and making the sitting room nice really gave me a boost, and it's really helped my mood, which is great. And also, happily, I did find my Christmas DVDs. I don't want to go on and on about my Christmas DVDs, but I'll just show you one that I really recommend and that is really lovely. It's this DVD. It's called A Christmas Without Snow, and it looks a rather subdued cover. Let me turn around and show you the cover properly. I love this movie. It's about this lady, Michael Learned. She's the mum in the Waltons TV show, if you're a fan of the Waltons. She's a divorcee who moves to San Francisco to just start a new life and try and get herself a flat and just get herself settled before her son can come and join her. She has a little boy and he wants to come and join her in San Francisco. And she ends up joining a local choir to try and get some social life. And it's just a charming story and it's quite a drama as well. Some things happen to the people in the choir which are sort of, it's believable. It's a drama that's believable but gripping, and very good quality. All the acting is super and it's very enjoyable. So if you ever see or want to find an interesting Christmas movie that's also heartwarming, A Christmas Without Snow is an excellent drama, and it's not kind of saccharine or cutesy bootsy, which I sometimes enjoy, that kind of thing. This is a good one. I recommend it. I would say, like, I really enjoyed going to Frinton today. You'll have seen I had some really lovely tea and cake at Shanty Cafe. And it was very nice to go there, having been there now once with my auntie and sort of know where things are a bit. It's always a little bit kind of when you go to a new place for the first time. But the people in the gallery were so nice, and I went into some of the charity shops where I'm afraid I was a bit naughty and bought some things. But I'll show you those in another time, I think, because they're not really to do with Christmas. It was lovely to go back. It was interesting though. Every time I sort of stopped somewhere or saw something, I thought, oh, last time my Auntie Anne was here with me. But it was such a nice visit that when she came, and she will come back, and I'm sure we'll visit Frinton again. And in the meantime, I now know a bit about Frinton and can go there to do shopping. It's really a mecca for lovely shops. There are lots of charity shops if you like thrifting, and there are also some really good boutiques and a lovely bookshop called Caxton's, so I recommend going to Frinton. Oh, let me show you, I got this lovely card. I'm feeling very honoured because a child made me this. I was working at a craft workshop and a child came up and gave me this, and I was so surprised her mum didn't want to take it for themselves. But anyway, look at this. This is what happens. This is the front of the card, and then Merry Christmas and a lovely Santa. It's so inventive. What a sweet child. I really treasure that. I suppose when you have children, you probably get rather blasé about them doing artwork all the time and don't want to keep it. But when you don't have children like me, it's absolutely astonishing when a child actually does a drawing or creates something and gives it to you. So there we go. Well, friends, next of all, I want to talk to you a little bit about a book I've been reading called The Magi by Adrian G. Gilbert. I actually bought this book a few years ago, and I've always meant to read it, but every time I tried to look at it, it was really quite complex and involved. Now, the Magi, obviously the three wise men, I've always loved the three wise men. I think my father told me they were called Caspar, Melchior and Balthazar. But of course, they're very, very mysterious figures. But I've always wondered who they were. And if you're interested, this is a very interesting book to look at because the author, Adrian Gilbert, he goes into really exhaustively the possible origins of the three wise men. Now, obviously, it was all so long, it was 2,000 years ago. It's very difficult to know anything about the three wise men or where they could have come from. This book, Magi, it is fascinating. I would say, well, to cut a long story short, what Adrian Gilbert seems to say is that he thinks the Magi were connected to a brotherhood that was an earlier version of a brotherhood called the Sarmung, who were contacted by a spiritual teacher called Gurdjieff at the end of the last century. I have heard of Gurdjieff. I don't know much about him. I think he was Russian and he was very interested in spiritual, kind of mysterious, mystical things. And of course, I'm fascinated by that kind of thing too. The book is very interesting because Adrian Gilbert goes into so much of the history of many places that are mentioned in the Bible, like Edessa, like Haran. He goes into enormous detail because in those days people could navigate by the stars because there was no electrical light. Astronomy was something at which these ancient people were much more knowledgeable than you or I, because if they wanted to go somewhere, they had to navigate by the stars, and they could because they could see the stars. And of course, the Magi followed the star to find Jesus in Bethlehem. So he really goes into all these very exhaustive explanations, and also looks at the links with Europe and the Crusades. And I must say, I ended up knowing a great deal more about the whole period of time. Of course, he can't really tell us exactly who the Magi were. They are a mystery. They remain a mystery, but it is a fascinating book. And I'm glad that I've kind of finally read most of it. And I've tried to order on eBay another book about Edessa, which is one of the cities mentioned in the book. Let me show you one thing from the book, which is really fascinating. One thing that Mr. Gilbert talks about is the Church of the Materia in Heliopolis, which is a suburb in Egypt. And it is believed that the Holy Family, Mary, Joseph and Jesus, came to Egypt and lived in this area of Heliopolis. And there are frescoes on the wall of the Materia Church of them arriving. Now, I don't think I gave you enough of a look at that. There we go. They're coming in. They're coming to Heliopolis, and there's the remains of the ancient Egyptian temple. Oops. And there's Mary with Jesus and Joseph at the tree of the Materia Church. And then there is the same tree, which is there, and it's called the Virgin Tree today. Sorry about my fingers. I mean, it's all so tantalizing. Of course, we can't know, but I must say, I was very impressed by Adrian Gilbert's research. He's very, very thorough. I think his qualification is in chemistry, and I found that chemists are extremely exacting, thorough people. Although he's not an ancient historian, he obviously has made himself one. And I was a little bit confused by the inclusion of a lot of astrology and astrological detail in the position of the planets. I do feel, as I said just a minute ago, that because there was no electricity then and people used the planets more, that the planets were much more a part of people's understanding and world. So yeah, it's just very interesting. He talks about the pyramids of Egypt. He talks about different ancient civilizations like the Sumerians, and it is really fascinating. And there's the Greeks, the Romans. I mean, if you want to really have a good to have a really interesting and sort of informative book, kind of around the period of Bible history, I recommend the Magi. We can't honestly know ultimately what the answer to these questions are, I suppose, until we're in heaven. But it is a fascinating book, and I recommend it. And I really love the Magi. I love wise people. I love wisdom and, venerableness, and also the fact that this little light's gone out. Oh dear. The fact that the wise men obviously protected Jesus. The book explains that they think the wise men probably helped to find the Holy Family a place that they could go. Again, it was all a lot to take in, but also Adrian Gilbert's written a lot of other books about mysterious subjects. I think even one about King Arthur. So I think I will be buying those eventually. And yes, I recommend The Magi. It was a fascinating book. I have a cup of tea here, as you can see, but no treats. I feel having that Bakewell tart at the Shanty Cafe today in Frinton was enough for me. But fortunately, or unfortunately, my next thing that I would like to do in the vlog today is make some cinnamon rolls. So I'm going to finish my my tea, and then I'll go and make the cinnamon rolls. As far as I can see, friends, because I've never made cinnamon rolls, and this is actually a ready-made cinnamon roll recipe from Marks and Spencer. They give you all the stuff, you just add some things to it. It involves a bit of, there's different stages to the cinnamon rolls. But goodness, I sound so ridiculous. Okay. But I'm looking forward to trying. I think I've seen this in Marks and Spencer for the last few years, and I've never actually done it. On the front of the sort of plushies and toys, if you're a fan of my channel, you'll know that I bought quite a lot of Halloween plushies this year, and I already had a few. I was given this one. I didn't buy it, but it's one of the meerkats. I think, is it Oleg a meerkat? I can't remember, but he's very, very cute, and he has on a little sort of nightcap. I did buy this one in Miniso a number of years ago. This was the first time I went into Miniso, and it's a slightly strange character. I call him Cuddleshoe, and Cookie quite likes snuggling up to Cuddleshoe. Sometimes if I can get a picture of him doing it, I'll put that in. But Cuddleshoe's very sweet. But I think I've got the Clemmy Clementine, but really these are, I'm a lot better about not buying Christmas plushies. For some reason, Halloween, maybe it's because Halloween has kind of strange creatures associated with it. I seem to be more inclined to buy Halloween plushies than Christmas ones. However, I would like to go around some thrift shops tomorrow, and oh gosh, now I've said that, maybe I'll find a Christmas plushie I want to buy, but maybe not. Maybe I can just make do with this little creature and a Cuddleshoe. Oh, sometimes I think I'm crazy, but it's I guess Christmas is a time just to feel kind of comfortable and nice, and yeah, I kind of wonder what next Christmas will be like. I guess we can only wait and see. Okay, right, I will finish my tea and I will go and start those cinnamon rolls. Lord help us, I hope the kitchen is tidy. I think it is. I think it's tidy. Okay. Cookie's really liking this box. He's fast asleep at the moment, but it's just made him feel so peaceful. I got this box in a delivery last week, and Cookie's just so happy. Well, hello again, friends. Here we are in the kitchen. It was pretty tidy, but I did have a last minute spruce up as well. And here is my Marks and Spencer cinnamon bun mix. I think although they've prepared everything for you, it's still quite a lengthy process. So I'll now set up my bowl, and I think I've got to get lukewarm milk, so I'll warm that up very gently and come back to you when I'm putting everything into the bowl. Okay. Hello again, friends. Well, I've now got my magnifying glass, but it's nice and clean. So I will double check this, empty the contents of the dough mix sachet, that's the big sachet, into a bowl and add 50 grams of butter, 1 egg, 170 milliliters of lukewarm milk. Mix together until fully combined. The dough will be very soft at this stage. Then knead the dough for 10 minutes. Okay, I will get on with that now, and fingers and everything crossed. So I'm putting in the butter. One free range egg. Oh dear, a little bit of eggshell. I'm going to add in the lukewarm milk. And this is the dough mix from Marks and Spencer. So I will now try and mix all that together. I'll come back to you in a minute. Well, friends, I think I should have chopped up the butter a bit more before I put it in. I can still see some lumps of butter there, so I'll keep mixing and I will come back to you in a moment. Well, friends, that's the dough that I've mixed together. Now I've got to knead it for 10 minutes. I really hope I've done this right, but I'll keep trying. I'll just try and knead it together. It looks very liquidy to me, but I'll just try. Okay. Okay, friends, I have a feeling I've put in too much milk. That looks too liquidy. I've kneaded it for the 10 minutes they said. I will now get the clean cloth and put it into a warm place for an hour, but I'm not holding my breath. This is going to work. Okay. Hello friends, yes, I have a feeling that's not going to work, but I will still follow through and try and finish the recipe because it's still an experiment, and it's a shame if I've wasted ingredients though, but you know, yeah, okay, onwards. Hi friends, I've changed over to my glasses. I can see better with my glasses and for like reading the small print and stuff. So now's the minute of truth. I will look at the dough. Fingers crossed. Oh no, it hasn't risen at all. Oh dear, it looks just, I've put in too much milk, I think. Oh dear. Okay. Well, do you know, it's probably awful. I'm just going to try and finish it anyway. I'm going to add some more flour. It's not risen at all. It'll probably be like a wee bomb. But I'm just going to try. Oh, how disappointing. Okay. Okay guys, here's my dough. It didn't have to be really rolled out. It just kind of splodged there. Okay, and I put some flour on it. Okay, so now I'm going to put on some butter and the cinnamon sugar. Try that. Okay, that's all the butter and the sugar on there. My goodness, it's a heart attack on a plate. And now I have to roll it up so that I can then cut across the 8 cinnamon rolls. So I'll try and do that now. Okay. Okay, sorry Cookie. I really think I've made the worst cinnamon rolls in the history of the world, but I'm gonna cook them now. I'm gonna see what happens. I do wish my sister was here. She makes superb cinnamon rolls from scratch. She doesn't even need to use a mix. So there you go. I'm gonna go ahead and do the next bit. Okay. There they are. I'm just curious now to see what they'll be like. I mean, if you look down here, there's a tiny little feeling of what the swirls should be, and mine's just all doughy and awful. Okay, I'm gonna have to cover this and put it in a warm place for another period of time, then put it in the oven. Lord help us. Hi guys, well the smell coming from the oven is amazing, even if they are dreadful, so I'll take them out now, we'll have a look. Honestly. I think I've burned them as well, but I did leave them for the amount of time that they said you should. Oh, I don't know. Should I put icing on these? I think I'll let them cool. I'll let them cool and I'll just see what they're like. I mean, yeah, it's an interesting experiment. Wow. Okay, well, I mean, it's like they haven't risen at all, but the inside isn't raw. Oh, Lord, okay. Come back later when they've cooled down. Well, here you go, guys. I think truly the worst cinnamon buns that have ever been made. If I pan up here to the picture of what it's supposed to look like. It's quite funny. It's so bad. I mean, oh. This one, I didn't try and put any icing on. It looks as if it, like, really lethal burnt. Okay. Well, I'm going to have one now with a cup of tea. We'll see what it's like. Okay. Oh, wonderful. Hello, darling one. Hello, Cookie.
And so, as Tiny Tim observed, God bless us, everyone.
Good morning, friends. I think today is the 16th. My nativity candle is taking quite a long time to burn down. I will get dressed and have a shower, and then I will come back to you shortly and tell you what I thought about my rather strange cinnamon rolls. Hello, friends. Well, it's the following afternoon. Gosh, those cinnamon buns, well, supposed to be cinnamon buns, they were pretty weird. It's taken me ages to clean up the kitchen. So much mess just to make some really bad buns. Okay, I'm gonna have a sip of tea. Sorry. I think I made a noise there too. Great. Yes, last night I was watching Scrooge. To me, this one, let me turn the camera around. This version of Scrooge with Alistair Sim, to me, he is the classic Scrooge. This is a sort of colorized version of the black and white movie, which for me, I mean, I'm sure the black and white one is fantastic too, but for me, the colorized one is slightly eerie, the colors, and, you know, to me, it's slightly more ghostly almost than the black and white. And every year I watch it, and this year, obviously, I just couldn't find it. This is usually one I watch on like the 1st of December, and I'm really trying to feel Christmassy. Couldn't find it till now, so I'm really grateful that now I have it. And I recommend this one, even if you see it on eBay. The News of the World put this out years ago, but it's fantastic, and yeah, recommend. I was just thinking how strange it is that, you know, Christmas kind of preoccupies your mind a little bit if you're a Christmassy person for really a long time. Before, after Halloween wraps up, part of your brain is thinking about Christmas, and then there's all this stuff, and then like I was getting all upset because of what I hadn't done or what I didn't have, and blah blah blah, and then it's I know it will suddenly be over and we'll be in the new year and it will all start again, which is another really great blessing. It's just funny how Christmas can become something that you can feel like you're not good enough, and, you know, yada yada yada, you can get negative. However, now I think I'm calmer. I sent off my few Christmas cards that I had to send off, so that was great. And yeah, I've tidied up the kitchen, put in washings and ironings, and yeah, I love doing this YouTube channel, despite the fact that, you know, it doesn't get a lot of views. But I would say that the time I spend filming and doing stuff for it probably is time that I should spend on more like chores and getting myself organized. But there you go. It is what it is. So I'm going to show you one simple Christmas craft that I really like, and then that will probably be the end of the video. I'll probably pop back tomorrow just to see how what I've made has turned out, but then that might be the end of the video. And I will during Christmas week, I'm working pretty hard up until Christmas Eve, so I will do a short video that week about something. Don't know what exactly, maybe just post-Christmas, and then it will be on to the new year. So let me show you what I'm going to make on my craft. By the way, if you see these sweets in Aldi or Lidl, they're fantastic. They've got, it's called Favorina. Oh, they are really delicious and not too expensive. So little tip there. But what I have here, friends, is a few more of my jam jars. I always like to use up jam jars to make lanterns. If you're a fan of my channel, you might remember that I made sort of pressed flower lanterns at the end of summer. And here, what I have is a lot of scraps. I've just found these literally. I was going to do this with a few scraps that I had, but I found all these. I think these are like ones that I've bought in the Pollock's Toy Theatre shop in the past, and then when I moved house they all got lost. Like, here's an enormous one of St. Nicholas. Oh, do you know that apparently there's a town called Bari in Italy, which is associated with St. Nicholas. One day I just loved it to go there and do a YouTube video. I love St. Nicholas. Oh, and here it's an enormous one of Santa and his sleigh. Well, that one will not go onto our little jam jar, but something, I'll make something with that. Yeah, and then more and more. In short, friends, I want to make one kind of Santa lantern and then one little angel lantern. I have a lot more angel scraps as well, but I don't exactly know where they are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach some of these scraps to my little jam jars with Mod Podge. And then I also have not glitter. I bought this, it's called Decorative Shred in the works. And I'm really hoping it's a bit less bad for the planet than glitter. I mean, I may one day buy some glitter. I can't promise I won't, but I hope the Decorative Shred wasn't so bad for the environment. And we'll put a little bit of that on to make the lanterns look a bit more Christmassy. So that's what I'm planning to do. Okay. Now with this craft, obviously it's important that you choose a scrap that's going to be the right size for your jar. That may sound obvious, but it's funny when you get carried away doing craft that you can do something impractical. So I think I kind of like this staunch looking Santa, and I think maybe I also like one of these Santas with the children. So I might do one each of those and maybe some like little flowers or something as a decoration. Those look like Christmas berries there. Anyway, so I'll cut out those scraps now and we'll see how they look. Well, friends, I really hope that this is in camera shot. I really wish, in fact, I'll just snip those off kind of crudely first. That will be easier. In a way, it's easier to do this if you have little daintier scissors. Even like nail scissors can be better. I'm just cutting off the little white bits here. Okay. All right. So I feel that this will look quite jolly, like on there. Yeah, it will just fit. It will just fit. And I will now get another Santa to put on as well. So here, friends, is another little scrap. I haven't done this one perfectly. If I could find my decoupage scissors, I would try and cut out the little tiny bits of peach here behind the Christmas tree. When I do like decoupage projects in the past, I was much more exacting with what I was doing. I really hope this is showing up on camera. So now I will just go and put my Mod Podge on and attach the scraps. Okay, friends, well, here's my Mod Podge. I'm just going to put some on here. I'll maybe try to not do too thick of a coat. Maybe I won't Mod Podge over the top of the scraps right now because I'd like to enjoy this craft this Christmas, and if I cover it with Mod Podge, then it will take ages to oh dear, it's maybe a bit too big. It's maybe a bit too big. Or maybe not, maybe it's okay. He's a little bit crinkly. He's a little bit crinkly. Okay. It looks as if that is sort of going to fit on. Well, friends, it did fit on, and I'm afraid I carried on with my craft, not knowing that I'd run out of space and the phone had stopped filming. I'm going to have to get out my cameras and think about this. Anyway, I put on the other one of the Santa and the children, and then I put on more Mod Podge, and I put on some of this shred, yeah, it's I probably could put on some more shred. Let me just do that. 1 second. Just take some of this here and try and capture more of the. You can see where it's white, that's where the Mod Podge is still fresh and able to have stuff glued to it. So, as I said, I hope this is better for the planet than glitter, but I don't actually know much about it. I have heard people say that crushed glass chips are also like glitter and they're better for the planet, but then maybe that's also not true. Okay, so I think that's quite festive looking. It's quite twinkly. I don't know if I should do the top bit. I feel like when you hold on to when you hold on to the jar, and it's going to be a bit problematic to. If it's just all covered with glitter, it's going to start just coming off. And in fact, it's not glitter; it's shred. Kate, think please. Okay, so that to me is looking quite promising and twinkly. So I will put that one aside now, and I will try to do the angel one so that you can see properly. Right. Here are my angel scraps, friends. They're not so big, so I'll cut out a few of those and we'll add those in. Okay, friends, here are my little angel scraps that I've so far cut out. I think those should look nice. I might need more, in which case I'll get more. But now I will show you my jar. Okay, on this jar, I think it was a spaghetti sauce jar from Lidl. I've got these 3 kind of glue dots that I have not been able to pull off. Probably there's a way of doing it, but I haven't been able to find one. So I'm going to just cover those up with Mod Podge right away. Yeah, like this. And I'm just going to try out my shred to begin with. So there's my white sort of shred on the other side, which I thought looked quite angelic. And we'll just put that on there. Yeah, cover up the glue dots. Oh dear, I'm not even in camera shot. Yeah, covering them up there. So that's quite sweet. And now I'll just put on some of my little angel faces. Okay. Here is a little one there. Okay, these seem to be easier to put on than the little flowers I did before. Okay, there's put another smaller one on there. Okay, I think this is going to be nice. I think somehow I should have been Victorian. I really like Victoriana. I feel that it's just very oops. It's very me. Apparently, a lot of angels in Victorian art, like these scraps, were depicted as angels because so many children died very young that Victorian people believed children were angels that came to the earth for a short time. And, I think just an enormous percentage of children did not even reach sort of a year of age. So there was a lot of mourning, and childhood was not a certainty at all. I mean, it's obviously never a certainty. We never know what life's going to throw at us. But for Victorian people, they really, really didn't know what was going to happen. Okay, so we have room here to do the little pair of angels here, I think. Oh dear. Okay, that fits. That fits, and now I'll just add in some more of this shred. Oh gosh. This is a mess. I'm making a mess here. Okay, but then I guess that's what craft is about. It's not all about being all perfect and stuff. It's about just being creative. And oh, that one's coming off. Oh dear. No, please. Stay back on, stay back on, stay back on. Put more on there. Okay. And then there's quite a big gap there. Put some more on there. And then tomorrow, hopefully the Mod Podge will have dried enough and we can see what they look like with a little tea light in them. Ew. I think I need a cameraman from Blue Peter or something to show me what I'm doing. Okay, right. Or just discipline. It's just if you know where the frame of the camera is, then you can hopefully just stay within that frame, she said, going out of the frame. Okay, Well, I think that's quite sort of twinkly and Christmassy looking. Sorry. Maybe I should fill in this gap here. Maybe, yeah. Put in a bit more there. Oh, lordy. Lordy, I just vacuumed before we filmed. I'm gonna have to vacuum again. Okay, so that's quite sweet. Okay. Move this out the way. So my angel jar is quite sweet, and my Santa jar is also kind of nice. They're both different, so I'm hoping on Christmas Day these are going to look nice on this coffee table maybe. Or I might add some more shred to them. But anyway, that is my main craft for today, and tomorrow we'll have a look at how they got on. Apropos of nothing, friends, I was once on my way to work in a school a few years ago. It was the middle of summer, it was boiling hot, and a box of old Christmas decorations was outside someone's house. They were clearing out, and a lot of them weren't really my kind of taste. But I did see this one, and I think it's supposed to be of Santa checking who's been naughty and who's been nice. But, you know, it really looks like he's unspooling toilet paper. I don't know. But I do like his little bear friend. And this is another thing that I've only recently just found from having moved. So anyway, whether Santa is sitting on the throne or whether he's checking the naughty and nice list, if we look round, he's dead. I really don't know. He's not on the toilet. He's sitting on a log. Okay. So anyway, I do like this Santa. Yeah, just a little bit of fun. Hello friends, well it's the Sunday before Christmas, and I just thought I'd show you how my little lanterns went. I think they probably need more shred on them, but they're really quite sweet. And yeah, I think I'm a jam jar maven. These to me are a bit 70s looking. Somehow they're a bit the twinkliness of them. So I like these, and I'm happy with them. There you go. Hope you're having a lovely Christmas week. Okay, well friends, if I don't come up with a better ending than this, because it is a bit a nutty week for me, I hope you have a lovely Christmas. And if you have any good ideas or suggestions, please put them in the comments below. And hope you have a lovely time, and I will see you in my next vlog. Happy Christmas!